Britain has some of the most challenging environments in the world. In Scotland, the mountains, lochs and coastline encourage tourists and locals to get out into the wilds. But with that comes danger. The emergency services north of the border have to deal with extreme challenges every day.
Nobody in their right mind should have attempted to drive through this.
From severe weather and treacherous terrain...
Is the pain getting worse, do you think? Yeah.
...to covering huge distances on rural roads with time against them. They work around the clock, battling against some of the most difficult situations. It's 11 a.m. and reports are coming in of an injured forestry worker trapped in remote woodland.
So we've got a 24-year-old male who's been felling trees just on the mainland there.
So there's Butte, there's the mainland, he's in the middle.
Basically, he's got a tree in his leg, he's got a broken leg and ankle.
With 21 years service, observer Phil Gamble is on today's team.
He's on the way ETA at half past.
Rescue protocol gives the crew just 15 minutes to scramble the Sea King Mark V helicopter. The injured forestry worker is with his colleague at least a mile away from the nearest road, so a helicopter rescue is the only option.
There's an ambulance on the way, but we'll be there before, well, just about the same sort of time, but accessibility is going to be directly above. So we're going to go and take a look, see if we can get in. 8 minutes to arrive on the scene.
Phil's been given a mobile number for the casualty's colleague. Now he can get vital information on their location and the severity of the injury.
Hello. Hi, this is Philip Gamble on the search and rescue helicopter coming to you. Can you hear me okay? Are you with the casualty?
I am, yeah.
Is the tree still on him?
No, I'm not getting you.
Oh, he's on.
They've lost the mobile phone signal, so they still have no idea how deep in the forest the casualty is, or how difficult it will be to reach him. Within 30 minutes, they've reached the forest. The team spot a man moving on the edge of the tree line. But as they draw closer, it's clear landing is not an option. Tree stumps and boggy ground make it too risky to land the 10-ton, 17-metre-long aircraft.
Even if we have to go to a 15-foot hover, being committed, but get the winch done, and that's probably the best way to do it.
Finding a safer place to land would delay rescuing the injured lumberjack. They don't know where he is in the forest, so there may be no option but to hover and winch someone down to search for him on foot. In the west of Scotland, the Royal Navy Search and Rescue Team are trying to reach a lumberjack who's trapped under a tree. They've spotted his colleagues, but don't know how far into the forest the casualty is. The terrain's too uneven and boggy to land the 10-ton helicopter. So the only choice is to lower winchman Lee Haggerty down to find him.
Lower the winch. 10 feet out. There's one of those logs coming down with 10 feet to the ground, 5 feet to the ground, on the ground. Disconnected. Raise the winch. Raise the winch.
Once you get into the 10-15-foot hover, you can see that there's no way you can land on. Just use the tree stumps, you've got felling logs, it's undulating ground. It's not worth risking the aircraft when it takes 2 minutes extra just to winch down.
Right, you, is it? Oh, right, okay. I thought it was someone stuck under a tree. Right.
When we got there, there was two guys. There was a guy out in the open area and there was a guy on the tree line. I thought he was just indicating the casualty was inside the tree line. It turns out the casualty was actually that guy, which was quite a shock, and told him to get down as soon as possible.
Unbelievably, 24-year-old Brent has managed to get out from under the tree and drag himself 30 feet to the edge of the forest.
Stop. Put it up. And where's the pain? In your knee. Did you feel it crack, yeah?
Considering a hefty 80-foot tree has crushed his leg, Brent's remarkably calm. Winchman Lee's trained to ambulance technician level, so will do what he can to treat him until they get to hospital.
If you don't want to cut it, mate, I'm going to have to take him off. Yeah,
The first thing he needs to do is cut open Brent's trousers, but thinking how much they cost, Brent's not keen.
Get these bits off, guys.
Just leave them, mate. I've got a splint in you. The kneecaps slightly off to the leg. That's swollen up massively, you can see there. Right, pain score. What is that?
That's for 7 or 8.
He's badly injured, so the transfer to the helicopter could be painful.
Slow fast a second. Sure you don't want any pain relief?
No, I'm fine.
I'm going to be moving you, it might be in a bit of pain, but just let me know when I've got some issue. And we offered him analgesia, but he refused it. He said he was fine. But yeah, he was a pretty tough guy, but big lumberjack, as expected really.
Brent's been a lumberjack all his working life. Astonishingly, he's showing no signs of pain in what Lee believes to be a broken tibia in his lower leg.
So the tree sprang out when he was cutting.
Sprung against me. Trapped me against
It's a bit like, say, if you were cutting this one with a chainsaw, it sprung this way.
Oh, right, okay.
Bent him at the ankle and whacked him at the knee and knocked him flat.
Brent needs hospital treatment. But there's a problem. They need to get him clear of the tree so they can winch him onto the aircraft. First, they must secure his leg.
Just placing a back splint on him to immobilise his leg so it doesn't move in our transit. Basically, there's loads of little tiny balls in here, and then you suck the air out. Creates a vacuum, obviously, and then immobilise. Is that okay?
No.
Is that compressing at the bottom of your leg as well? Can you feel it?
Yeah, I can feel it.
Sure you don't want any pain relief?
No, I'm fine.
We're going to be moving you, it might be in a bit of pain, but just let me know when I've got some issue.
Lee's stabilised Brent's leg with a vacuum splint, ready to move him. Now he arranges for the winch kit to be lowered.
Let's get some equipment sent down from the aircraft so we can get Brent safely recovered.
The downdraft from the helicopter's 9-metre rotor blades will make the transfer across very rough terrain even more difficult. Lee needs all the help he can get.
Get him that arm over your shoulder, to the side, and you cross arms at the bottom.
Despite now describing his pain level as an agonising 8 out of 10, tough guy Brent has refused pain relief. But he may soon regret that choice.
Are you happy, you two?
No, it's not. Gonna slip. I can on, you'll be alright.
I'm not.
Right, okay.
I can do you slipping.
Do like the old
That's something to be a hoop.
underneath together. Ready? Go. Go on.
I can move like I'm sinking. Go on.
The environment's horrendous. When you're on the ground, it's undulating, you've got the tree stumps everywhere. There's a smallish stream which we had to extract him across. And being only 3 guys there, he was a pretty big lad as well. It was pretty difficult.
The guys on the ground are struggling to carry Brent between them without causing him even more pain. Observer Phil must guide the helicopter in as close to the trees as he dares.
Right only, 25 yards, and continue down 20 feet slowly.
Every member of the crew uses focused effort to pull off this dangerous manoeuvre. They must steer clear of the treetops, flying just 130 feet above the ground.
7 yards, 5 yards, forward right, and fast 2, 4 yards. So you just tipped over the trees.
2 o'clock, right at the top of the tree.
Easy, steady there, good position.
Forward and left, so I'm afraid we'll just have to risk it where we are now.
Hey, you've just got one tree on the nose at about 20 yards.
It was a horrendous position to winch, not only getting the winch in, but extracting the casualty. We would have gone through the tree line, and it's too dangerous really. When we had another option of the high line, which basically allows the aircraft to be away on an angle, and then we can slowly take him out to a safer area before bringing him back up to the aircraft.
Brent is put in a cradle attached to a weighted line or high line, so he's as stable as possible, whilst the aircraft is in a tilted position to keep them clear of the trees.
Okay.
High line's not fouled. 40 foot to the aircraft. Easy and steady there. In fact, if you continue left only 10 yards slowly. Okay, raise the winch, just level with the door. Okay, and snub right, you take winch control. We have, right, lower the winch, lower the winch, stop the winch. Stop the winch.
Now Brent's safe, the crew head for Glasgow.
Get lost 177, A firm, happy with Glasgow Southern General, over.
Lee hooks Brent up to monitor his heart rate.
Bit of weather on the moor, and Southern General, we're going to come straight along the Clyde anyway.
It's taken the Royal Navy Search and Rescue Team just 25 minutes, rather than 2 hours by road, to safely deliver Brent to the waiting medical team at Glasgow's Southern General. Brent spent 5 days in hospital. The break had gone down through his knee into his tibia. He now has bolts holding the weakened bones together.